Hello foodie friends! I thought for May it would be really fun to look at the recipes that you get from these little basically advertisement pamphlets from different kinds of food companies. And I have gotten a ton of these off of eBay. And I was really pleasantly surprised when I recognized the name of the author of this particular little booklet, because we've already looked at her cookbook once, and that's the Lily Wallace New American Cookbook. We looked at this one at the beginning of this channel, and so it was a really pleasant surprise, like I said, to see that there was something else by her. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at these cookbooks, and then we'll start baking. And here's a close-up of the cookbook that we did once before. It's really beautifully illustrated. We have the name of someone who owned it before me, and my copy is from 1944, although this cookbook was in print for many years. And I do recall that we really liked this cookbook. We rated it pretty highly on the channel, and the dish that we made from it was really good, and we actually enjoyed it. And here we have what we're going to do today. Now, I did a little bit of digging into Lily Wallace on the internet, and unfortunately there's not a whole lot that we know about her. We do know that she was born in England, and then she came over to the United States around the year 1900, and shortly after she came to the US, that is when she became connected with the Rumford Baking Powder Company, which is still going today. She wrote well over 30 cookbooks and pamphlets like this for herself and the Rumford Baking Powder Company. And what I really love about this one, which, by the way, is from 1927. But what I really like about this one is the really cute little, almost watercolor illustrations that you get throughout this cookbook. And I really like how this one is laid out. So this one in particular is centered only around fruit recipes, mostly baking and pies, cakes, cookies, that kind of thing. And it really seems neat. I love all these little illustrations, and there's a ton of recipes in here that look really good. Now for this week, I chose this huckleberry or blueberry cake. I will actually be doing more of a mixed berry because that's what I had in my freezer, and so I decided to use that up. I would imagine that people in 1927 would have done the same instead of going out and buying, something different, something new, and so that's what I'm going to stick with. But you see, we don't have that many ingredients. It looks very easy, but still tasty. So let's go ahead and see if we like this Lily Wallace pamphlet as good as we liked her cookbook. So we've got our cake safely baking in the oven, and I've got a few things to share with you. Now, last week we did not have an episode because seasonal allergies came to Tennessee that week and beat us up. We were so sick for several days, but we're finally seeing the upswing of it. I think the tree pollen has started to slow down a little bit around here. Either that or we just like finally got used to it somewhat. But there was a few things that I got in the mail and elsewhere that I wanted to show you. So let me go ahead and turn this camera around and I'll show you what I got. First off, for those of you interested in gardening and especially heirloom seeds, I actually went on the internet and bought several kinds of tomatoes here from the Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. It came in this beautiful envelope, and if you order a certain amount, they will send you a free packet of seeds to try. You don't get to pick what it's going to be, but I really like the fact that it's a surprise because you never know what you're going to get, and this looks really cool. So this is a type of lettuce that I can't wait to put in my garden and see what happens. But as for the seeds, I got some really good looking and interesting tomatoes. This one especially because it's supposed to taste kind of like a pineapple fruit. I thought that would be interesting. And then this one looked really good, supposed to be really super tasty, and so I cannot wait. I've already germinated some, and I will show you some updates periodically through the weeks as they grow big and strong, and I will give you a more in-depth review on how they did. Now, the other thing that I'm going to show you, I'm really excited about. Some of you may have seen the month-long episodes I did on Wyandotte, Michigan, the town where I was born and raised. And some of those episodes featured this cookbook in particular. It does not have a publication date, but I do know that my mom had a copy back in the 80s, so it does go back quite a ways, but she absolutely loved this cookbook. She still has her copy, and I absolutely loved it as well. I love the stories in it. I love all the different kinds of food because, you know, that area of Michigan was settled by several different immigrant groups, and the food reflects that. So you're getting a really good mix of all kinds of different tasty dishes to try. Now, you may be wondering, is this my mother's copy? No, that's what I'm so excited about. The Wyandotte Historical Society has been reprinting this cookbook, and they put it on their website to sell. I am so excited about that because that means if you guys watch those episodes I did and was wanting a copy of it, you can now get it. Also, I picked up this one, the Wyandotte Cookbook. This is actually a reprint of one that was done in 1898. They printed it 100 years later, so I can't wait to delve into this one. We will definitely put this on the channel. It's got the original advertisements in it. It looks like it's got some really good recipes. I really like these little advertisements. I think that's a really cool addition, especially to keep them with the original cookbook. That's really neat to look at. And this cookbook is also for sale on their website. So that's really cool. If you guys want to check that out, you can. I also picked up this cookbook. Now, this is obviously a modern cookbook. I got it at Sam's Club. But after looking at these pictures and just the gorgeousness of the layout, I could not resist this cookbook. Doesn't that look so good? I have not cooked out of it yet, so I don't want to say for sure that, you know, this is something you run out and go get. But I am going to put this on the channel probably for a Monday video, and we will go ahead and review one of the recipes and see if it's just as tasty as the pictures look, and then we will see if this is something that is worth a pickup for you guys. Now, this particular author has also put out a couple more. I'd like to go ahead and pick those up too if this is a good one, and maybe I'll review those on the channel as well. And then, now some of you may have already watched my library book sale haul that I was so excited about. But this year they went a second weekend, and that weekend everything was half price. So hardcovers were $1, paperback was 50 cents. And guess what I did? I went back and decided to see what was left over, and I'm really glad I did because I picked up another really good looking stack of cookbooks. Now, most of these are from the 1970s. You'll see I've got one from Campbell's. I can't wait for this one because we could do this as a budget series and see if it's still a budget today as it was back then. I love 1970s cookbooks. I love, usually like the font and the layout is always really nice with those cookbooks. They usually have some kind of like little pictures throughout that's kind of hand-drawn looking. And I love 1970s food layouts. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the earth tones. I don't know if it's because they would cram something in every square inch of the photo. I don't know, but I absolutely love it. So we're going to go ahead and review a lot of these. Now, I'm not going to do like an in-depth right now, but I will in the coming months be putting these on the channel so that we can look at them closer and see if they're any good. This one's modern, 2014. But how could you resist this? A recipe a day? I love this. So we're going to be going through this and cooking out of this one. I thought this was really cool just because of the shape, and I like the fact that it's just 30-minute recipes, so they say. So we will be reviewing this one. I found one from Hunt's Tomato Sauce, which kind of goes along with the theme of this episode. Actually, I think all of these are going to pretty much because we got Campbell's over here. But this one is so cute. Again, this really nice 1970s layout. I really like the chapters in this one because we have some interesting chapters in this one. The US, we've got budget, we've got Mexican, we've got, well, even dieting ones if you want, Italian, one dish. So lots of really cool ideas in this one. We've got Weber. Outdoor cooking. I thought this one would be really fun. Again, we've got these great 1970s layouts. We've got this beautiful, elegant table with the grill in the background that gave all of that food to them. So this is really fun. We've got a nice mix of these hand-drawn, little illustrations along with the big layouts of the natural colors and all the food in its glory. And guess what? I didn't even know this was a thing. But we have already reviewed the I Hate to Cook book, and this one is the appendix to it with all brand new recipes. So we will be doing an episode on that, kind of a sequel to our first one. I got this really cute little Pennsylvania Dutch recipes. This one, I believe, is from, 1959. So we'll have some really good Pennsylvania Dutch Amish recipes to cull from here. We have some Carolina cooking. I really like the illustrations in this one. You can see it's 1977. And the whole thing is just really good Carolina cooking with lots of fish and seafood. So can't wait to delve into that. And here are the treasures. We got 3 Betty Crocker cookbooks. I love these. My grandmother had 3 of these in the set, and I was able to find some more to try to complete the set that she started. And again, these were just $1 a piece. So we have Betty Crocker's all-time favorites with the great 1970s font. And look at these spreads. These are beautiful. I love these photographs. Cannot wait to get more in depth into this. We have the Hostess Cookbook, just in case you guys plan on doing some huge entertaining in the upcoming months. How to set your table with some, I guess, Hawaiian tiki looks if you want. But we've got all kinds of different types of place settings for you. And of course, we have our 70s food spreads. Really cute little illustrations all throughout. And all kinds of different recipes and different themes for you to follow with the menus already planned for you. But this one's my favorite. I love the colors in it. I love the illustrations. I just love everything about this. How to start your fires, how to get your grills going. It's just really fun. The colors really pop in these photographs. I just love the illustrations. And the recipes really do look good. So we might have to turn on our grill this summer so we can do a really good in-depth review of this cookbook. So that's just a few of the cookbooks that we're going to be doing this summer because I picked up so many. So let's go ahead and check on this cake. Hopefully it's done. We'll powder it with the sugar and then we'll be ready for our taste test. Let's go ahead and give this cake a look. Ooh, I think that's getting close to done. We'll go ahead and do our knife test. And that's come out clean. I think we can go ahead and pull this cake out. And now for the hard part, we're gonna have to let this sit to cool off before we sprinkle it with our powdered sugar. All right. We've got a really good looking cake with lots of sugar on top. So let's dig in.
Before I even got to the taste, it's got like a nice little like crusty surface.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say too. Got like a nice, I don't even know how to describe it actually.
Like a shell.
Yeah.
But like, I tend to like the edges of a cake anyways because you get a little bit more of that like caramelized dough section.
Yeah, a little bit more flavor in a way.
But somehow this has it on top too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And it also is very reminiscent to me anyway of like a blueberry muffin.
Yeah.
Like a breakfast blueberry muffin, you know? With like that little bit of glazed crust on top of the muffin, because we all love the top of the muffin.
Like
anyway.
it's not even overly sweet. Like I don't feel like I'm eating dessert, really. It's like it could be like a side bread or something.
Kind of like something you would have as a coffee cake.
Yeah.
You know, a tea cake. Maybe something as a little bit of a breakfast pastry.
Yeah.
You know, I could see that. It's really surprising, actually. Yeah. I really, like, for having the limited amount of ingredients that's in it, it actually, like, you don't know that it's limited ingredients. Does that make sense?
Like it tastes like it has a lot of, like
others,
whole grain almost.
Yeah.
Bread. You know what I mean? Like you get more rounded flavor with the whole grain bread than you do with the white. It tastes like it's made with a whole grain flour or something.
Yeah, that's
like that. Like it's got more. I don't know how it did it.
I know, I don't either. We're trying to scramble for words, I feel like, to describe this, but I really like it.
Yeah, very good.
So this is surprising to me in a way, just because it didn't go in the direction that I thought it was going to go, which is great because those are the kind of recipes that we love being surprised with, you know? As for this little pamphlet, now, I don't know if you would be able to pick this up individually. I'm guessing you'd have to be lucky at an estate sale, yard sale, maybe eBay periodically, you know, library book sale. I actually got this in a large set of pamphlets from eBay. So I didn't buy this individually. I didn't really pay that much for the stack that I got. So I probably paid less than $1 for this.
Right.
Like way less than $1 actually. And I'm really happy that I got it because like I showed you before, I just love the pictures, the layout, everything. And I love the fact that it's from 1927 and from Lily Wallace. She did not disappoint.
Yeah.
You know, the cookbook was great. We really like this. It kind of makes me want to look for some of her other little pamphlets that she put out for Rumford. I think this is a great pickup. So if you do happen to find this floating around somewhere, go ahead and give this a pickup if you're a vintage collector, because I think you'd really like to have this. As for the cake, really hope you try it. It's just good.
Yeah.
I don't know what else more to say. I mean, it's just really tasty. And I love making little cakes like this because for me in my 1955 kitchen, I just it reminds me of all the hundreds of cakes just like this that was probably made in this kitchen since it was built in 1955, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a vintage cake in a vintage kitchen, and I just kind of love that ambiance that it creates, you know, in this kitchen. So that's really cool to play with. Now for next week, we're gonna stay on theme with our corporation pamphlets from all kinds of different, you know, cooking companies and food product companies. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be really fun, and hope you try this cake. I think you'll really like it. We'll see you next week. Bye.
And if you like historical cooking and unusual cookbooks, here's 2 more videos you might enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe for more foodie adventures.